A lot of details have come out about the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump out in Butler, Pennsylvania. And as you guys may have seen all over the news, Donald Trump, bled on stage as he was shot by an alleged assassin that wanted to take him out before the 2024 presidential election. And we talked about this possibility before. And to be honest, guys, a lot of people just kind of they kind of blew me off. That's not going to happen, Ron. This is 2024. They don't do that kind of thing anymore. But, critics said that an assassination attempt on Donald Trump would never happen. And yet it did. And as far as we know, he's okay. Donald Trump is fine. And he's taking it in stride. And so, that's huge. I mean, this just shows the resilience of this 77-year-old former president, Donald Trump, to be able to bounce back. I mean, this is a win for Donald Trump, even though, as bad as this looks, as bad as this is a massive win for Donald Trump. And this is another loss for the Biden administration. But this does not look good for Joe Biden. This does not look good for President Biden. A lot of analysts have said that this has literally just given Donald Trump the keys to the White House. Let me know if you guys agree. Do you guys think that this situation here has given, gift wrapped the keys to the White House to Donald Trump? Let me know, guys. Also, hit the like button for the video. I want to thank y'all as always for M. Johnson. I see Bullseye Joe. Yep, exactly. We're going to talk about that, M. Johnson. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, for sharing this video, for getting the truth out. I've been dealing with some censorship issues. So please, after this video, check out my previous lives. Man, I've shared so much of my previous lives in the last 24 hours. You must check those out. I'm not seeing other people covering the details that I have. Also, this is really big for Donald Trump because you saw no fear in this man's eyes. But going back to one of the comments that I just saw, Donald Trump has essentially, okay. So there was a comment I just saw about Bullseye Joe. I'm seeing it again. Keith Olson, appreciate you, man. There has been so much coming out from not only the left wing media, but Donald Trump, but Joe Biden. He has said some things recently that are literally they're going to bite him in the butt. And a lot of folks are essentially they're talking about this now. They're calling him out for what he said, and it's almost like he kind of invited this situation just the other day. But what I really find interesting is how even CNN is now coming out and actually, to some extent, taking some responsibility for what has happened. I want you guys to take a listen to what CNN is saying right now. Take a listen.
Rhetoric around him over the last few weeks that if he wins an election, our country will end, our democracy will end. It's the last election we'll ever have. These things have consequences. Okay, I don't know what the motivations of the shooter are. I don't know any of the details, but I know the rhetoric around Trump has grown extreme. You mentioned some other violence. You didn't mention the Supreme Court, attempted murder of a Supreme Court justice, or the congressional baseball game where Steve Scalise was nearly murdered. One a conservative, the other a Republican. But we have people in this country who are dedicated to telling half the country that if Donald Trump wins an election, the country will end, the Constitution will go away, and so on and so forth. What I want to hear from all elected officials is this kind of hyperbolic extremism has consequences and it must end. Yes, we're all shocked, and yes, political violence has no place. Where does it come from? It's got to stop.
But we're also hearing from Trump very, very strong statements of condemnation of Biden, the worst president, the most dangerous president, and all of that. He's speaking very, very strongly against President Biden.
Who's it?
Yeah, okay. So here you have CNN trying to deflect, right? You have CNN basically trying to say, hey, Donald Trump is just as bad as Joe Biden because he's saying that, Biden is the worst president we've ever had. Yeah, but Donald Trump's not inciting any violence. There's a huge difference here. Donald Trump is calling out how the economy is so much worse now than it was under Donald Trump's administration. There's no violence there. So Wolf Blitzer's defense here is null and void, in my opinion.
In the hospital.
Well, we do. This is an assassination.
Look, I agree with you.
You say calm things down. I agree. Both sides should calm.
This moment is what other wake up call could there be for everybody in this country right now? I am mortified. I mean, this will live on forever. These pictures we're seeing today will be in the history books of our children and our grandchildren. I mean, we're living through a historical moment, and we have to recognize it for what it is, and we have to change.
You have to cool the rhetoric on both sides.
We have to change.
Because it's really dangerous, and it foments...
So Wolf Blitzer on CNN continues to basically almost try to ignore the fact that, hey, we almost saw the life of Donald Trump taken away from us, right before our very eyes in the middle of a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. It's like, wow, where's the sensitivity here? Where is the sensitivity here? Just completely trying to deflect the blame onto the victim here. The victim here right now is Donald Trump. And you got Wolf Blitzer over here trying to talk about how, it's both sides. I'm not seeing that here, guys. I'm not seeing it, But, going back to what we saw yesterday, I didn't see any fear in the eyes of Donald Trump. In fact, I think that it would be pretty difficult for anybody to, kind of have this much composure after getting his ear shot, but somehow Donald Trump managed to do it. And, this is the optics that a lot of political analysts are looking at. This alone will carry him through November and further ensures Donald Trump's win in the 2024 presidential elections. But yeah, I also want to get to some of the details in just a little bit about, what happened here is the FBI confirmed that this was indeed an assassination attempt on a former president of the United States. We actually heard from Joe Biden, who actually said he's going to reach out to Donald Trump. I thought it was kind of funny how, one of the reporters asked Joe Biden if he believed that this was an assassination attempt, and Joe Biden, didn't have all the details at the time, but I'm sorry. How can you have multiple shots fired at a former president during a rally and you not believe that this was an assassination attempt? You know what I mean? Come on, dude. It is what it is. But let's hear from Joe Biden on this one.
Briefed by all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to him shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have engaged in making sure that the people we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that they're thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports.
Okay, so, I mean, bottom line, Joe Biden, at the time, this was 8:15 p.m. yesterday. So, at the time he was saying, Joe Biden is basically saying, hey, I don't have enough details. I'm not going to confirm or deny anything, but I think it's pretty obvious what had taken place. A blind man could tell you what was attempted there, right? So, granted, Joe Biden didn't have all the details, but it was pretty obvious what was taking place. However, I do want to share with you guys some information that the FBI has released, and let's hear directly from the FBI on this one here. And I was really surprised at how young this guy was, this assailant. And apparently, based on some of the information that has been released, this guy lived about an hour away, graduated high school not too long ago. I want to say it was like 2022. And apparently made some donation to a Democratic Party. So I've been hearing a lot of different conflicting information. Thank you, Catalia, 20 years old. I've been hearing some conflicting information. Some people, some of these news outlets, mainstream news outlets, were saying that he was actually like a Republican. But I don't know how they came to that conclusion, because I got information saying that he made a $15 donation, contribution, whatever you want to call it, to a Democratic cause, a Democratic Party. So that's a little weird why they would be saying that. I think it's a lie. I'm with you, Catherine, Brandon. It definitely sounds like a lie. Let's hear from the FBI on this one, though. Take a listen.
But police and FBI have now confirmed it to be an assassination attempt. They say it is still an active crime scene. Police officially still not identifying who the shooter is, though, although they say they are close. They say they are waiting until they are 100% confident. Some complications have slowed down a positive identification because there was no ID on the shooter, they say. So they're conducting DNA checks, and they say there's no reason to believe that there is any other existing threat. So a lone wolf, a solo shooter. But
which is a little conflicting, because I could have sworn I was hearing that there were multiple shooters, not just a lone wolf. So that, to me, I think could be challenged.
aside from that, the New York Post is right now reporting the shooter to be 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. They've got a photograph there that has been published again. This is the New York Post. It's an image of what appears to be that shooter on the roof with blood on his face and security standing over his body. That there, one of the images of the day, the 20-year-old shooter there on the roof, Thomas Matthew Crooks. Again, this is according to the New York Post, a little over 100 metres away from where Donald Trump was giving that campaign speech. So let's back things up and recap what's happened today. There has been an assassination attempt on the former US President Donald Trump as he was campaigning in Butler in Pennsylvania early today. Donald Trump was grazed by a bullet on his ear, his right ear, and he has been discharged from hospital. That's the good news. He had reportedly been taken to be treated in Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania after a shooting at that nearby campaign rally. He's now been discharged or has left the county where the shooting took place and is under the protection of US Secret Service as well as the state police. So this is what we know about the shooting so far. The former president and the current challenger had been holding a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, when audience members reported hearing multiple gunshots. It's not just audience members. That video that's beaming around the world now, we can all hear multiple gunshots. Trump then seen falling to the ground after clutching his ear, where he was quickly surrounded by his armed security staff, the Secret Service. He was then escorted away from the scene. The Secret Service says Trump is now safe and has launched protective measures. So backing things up again, this is the moment that the shooting took place.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Yeah, guys. I can't believe I'm reporting this. I mean, I can, but I can't believe I'm reporting this, you know? Um, the last time I was this shocked and surprised was when we heard that Donald Trump was convicted of 34 felony counts. For that New York City Judge Juan Merchan, DA Alvin Bragg hush money trial. And that was really shocking. Like that kind of like got me. We knew it was a fake trial and all that, but I didn't think that they were really gonna convict him. And there's still whether or not he's gonna have to serve some jail time for this. But you guys got to check out my previous live. I did two very good detailed lives in the last 12 to 18 hours ago. I don't even remember. I'm starting losing track of when I did it. But basically, shortly after this, you guys have to check that out. Matter of fact, I need to drop a link in. You could just click on the channel and you can see my previous lives. But look at the last two lives, because number one, there was a bystander who was trying to alert Secret Service. He was trying to alert the police about this guy that he was seeing climbing onto the rooftop about 50 feet away from him, and like they were like ignoring him. And he was like, "Yo, there's a guy climbing on the roof, and he has a rifle on him." And he was like, kind of like bear crawling, trying to get into position. And the guy is like trying to like make the Secret Service, security, police officers, whoever was on site, aware of what's going on. And instead of, as a precautionary measure, I know it was like 5 or 6, maybe 7 minutes in the Donald Trump speech. Like, as a precautionary measure, why wouldn't you? And I feel like this is kind of like why a lot of people are saying like, this was a setup or whatever. But why wouldn't you, just as a precautionary measure? I mean, this is a freaking outdoor event. It's not like this was held in like some, closed arena where it was more of a controlled environment, and you had people going through metal detectors, like a TSA style security check before people could even come in. You had all sorts of people. This was outdoors. And the other thing was, it's not even like there were that many rooftops there. There was like maybe 6 or 7 rooftops that I'm aware of at that particular vicinity within, like, I don't know, like 150 meters. So why wasn't there Secret Service on every rooftop? Like, I'm only aware of like one Secret Service guy, sniper on the rooftop, like kind of like adjacent to Donald Trump. So this easily could have been prevented. And so this makes a lot of people wonder, since they didn't investigate as quickly as they should have, since they didn't like, since it doesn't seem like, and I'm not trying to discount, the Secret Service's work efforts, but it's just like, it just seems like that type of warning would have been investigated immediately. It would seem like with a warning like that, you would take Donald Trump off stage for a 5 or 10 minute break. People aren't going to leave, right? So have him come off stage, investigate the situation, and then bring him back on. Don't leave him up there while you've received this warning. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And there was definitely some balls dropped, in my opinion, from that front. But yeah, this is this is the life we're living in here, guys. So now I do want to confirm that the FBI did ultimately identify the shooter as Thomas Matthew Crooks. But just imagine if Donald Trump didn't turn his head at that exact moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine if the wind had, blown to the right just a little bit. Like, think about how close your ear is to your head. Like, all that bullet needed to do was move over a couple millimeters and it would have been all over. So now, in my opinion, I feel like, okay, number one, this may very well have been the very last, this may very well be the last rally that we're going to see like this. I can't imagine Donald Trump, well, Donald Trump's very ballsy. So I could imagine Donald Trump being willing to do another outdoor rally. But I just can't personally imagine Donald Trump's supporters, like when I say supporters, not, like, regular people. I'm talking about like his campaign team, his family. I can't imagine Donald Trump doing another outdoor rally like that. In fact, I don't know if any other presidential challenger may be willing to do another outdoor rally like that. It's just, now that it has happened, like, we've already known that the risk was there, but now that it has happened, it's like, why would I ever want to put myself at risk like that? There are too many variables. And I was saying this before, if you guys remember back, like I said, when Trump was in the New York, Manhattan, during the Manhattan trials with DA Alvin Bragg and Judge Juan Merchan, the Hush Money trial, and he actually went out to Harlem. And I was thinking to myself, okay, this is really cool. Donald Trump, he's making his rounds. He's up in the Hispanic and Black communities and making himself known in a traditionally blue state. Keep in mind, Pennsylvania is also a blue state. So it's like, and not that this couldn't happen in a red state, not that this couldn't happen in a red state, but I'm just saying, he's not traditionally, overall loved there. But my point is that when he was in Harlem, for example, and he visited the bodega, and a lot of you guys remember that one, I was thinking to myself, holy cow, this has got to be a Secret Service nightmare. If you guys remember that, there were like so many like apartments, and like the way New York is set up, a lot of you guys, if you're familiar with New York, typically there's apartments that are on top of stores. So you got like stores, and then you got like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe typically as many as 5 5 residences above the stores, right? So it's like stores and then residences on top, right? Well, it's like there's like hundreds, if not, I don't know, if maybe even thousands of windows that people could have been in, and there's no way you could have enough Secret Service monitoring all of those windows for any type of danger. Think about all the rooftops. So I was like, man, like, I was really surprised that they even let Donald Trump be out in the open like that. So that was one incident. And thankfully nothing happened there. But then there was another time where Donald Trump, he was like, he got out of the, basically there was like a lot of construction workers kind of waiting for Donald Trump's arrival. Donald Trump hops out of the black suburban SUV. And literally he's chilling out there with all these people for like 40 minutes. And I'm like, man, meanwhile, this is Manhattan. There's buildings everywhere. And I'm thinking about like how dangerous this is. Like this, like you're like a sitting duck. So anyway, I really hate that this has happened, but I mean, we knew that this risk was there. The risk was always there. And, I'm honestly surprised that it didn't happen sooner, because I felt like it was only a matter of time. And it's really unfortunate that it has happened, but it's kind of like, man, like most people saw this, the writing on the wall. But again, it's just kind of amazing and kind of admirable that the former president was heard telling the Secret Service to wait a second so that he could kind of like do a fist pump to the crowd to let everybody know that he was all right and that he was still in fighting form. So, but this kind of led Donald Trump to electrifying the crowd. I mean, you could hear the crowd like chanting USA, USA, shouting from the crowds as he left the stage. But in all honesty, guys, it's such a sad day for America. And they have basically been trying to demonize Donald Trump for the longest time. Liberal, left-wing media news outlets, constantly talking about, comparing Donald Trump to Hitler. And I know you guys have heard it. There's been so many comparisons to Hitler. They're trying to like, and so it's like when you keep doing that, you're in my opinion, you're almost inviting this type of situation because you're trying to promote this lie, this narrative, and demonize a political opponent. And it's like, all you need is one of these wacko, crazy left liberal, people to like snap and attempt the unthinkable. I mean, listen to what the news, the left-wing media has been like doing for like years. Listen.
Of course, Trump is a Nazi time again.
Let's deal with Hitler, okay?
I don't think it's hyperbolic to say that. I mean, that is Mussolini, Hitler-like language.
Trump's affinity for Hitler was always covered under an umbrella of his stupidity.
Echoing Hitler's words.
Listen to this.
Well, Hitler was duly elected.
That's right. Echoing the hateful rhetoric of Adolf Hitler.
It echoes Hitler. That's the kind of language Hitler used in Mein Kampf.
I mean, MSNBC, CNBC, Jen Psaki, Hillary Clinton, all, saying this over the years. It's like, it's like, and then some people, they don't do their homework. They don't do their research, and they listen to the news, which, you're conditioned to believe whatever the news people say because they're wearing suits and they're on TV, and this is the news. They're telling us the truth. They're telling us what's happening. But this is also what motivates a lot of people to do, not a lot of people, but it motivates people who engage in these types of acts to act. So anyway, so I just wanted to kind of quickly share this quick update. It wasn't really quick, but I wanted to share this update with you guys, share my thoughts and opinions on it. If you guys haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button for the video. I really do appreciate you guys. Let me just try to jump in the comments just a second because I have not been even paying any attention to the comments. So sorry, guys. Let me see. You guys, what's going on? What's going on? Cam Harmon. What's up, Fed Up Patriot? Let's see. I think you guys are about as shocked as I am. Melissa Fountain. Horrible comments by horrible media. It is sickening. It absolutely is. But yeah, guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really, really do appreciate you guys' support as usual. Talk about dog whistles. Man, absolutely crazy. Anyway, guys, I've got so much that I want to share with you guys. Right after this video, though, I'm about to end this live. Right after this video, I want you guys to click on, go to my channel, check out my previous 2 lives. And I'm going to make it even easier for you guys. I want you to watch this first one because it shows the bystander that was literally warning the police and the Secret Service. Look in the chat right now. Warning the police and the Secret Service about this guy that was getting up on the roof, number 1. And there's a lot more that I share in there, okay? Like, they literally interview the guy. So I want you guys to check that one out. But also on this second live that I'm going to share with you guys. What was in this one? I lost my train of thought. Anyway, both of these lives have some details in there that I want you to hear and see. I actually show you some videos that that are not being shared in most places. So, all right. So I dropped both of those links in there for you guys to be able to check out. This is a developing story. I will continue to bring updates as I get them. But this pretty much guarantees Donald Trump's going to win. Oh, that's right. That second link that I dropped, it shows a lot of things in there, but one of which is the Tucker Carlson prediction that this was going to happen, and how everybody was basically blowing off Tucker Carlson's prediction, like, man, that's hyperbole. This is not really going to happen. And it's not like anybody wanted this to happen, but it was like, look, when you when you failed, when you try to impeach him and impeachment doesn't work, when you try to, trash the man's name and trashing his name doesn't work, when you try to throw all these different fake lawfare legal cases at Donald Trump and that doesn't work, when you try to throw him in jail and make him a felon, and all these things that they've tried to do don't work, what's the next thing that they're going to do? What's the next thing that they're going to try to do? And I think that's what we saw last night. So anyway, guys, like I said, I dropped those links in the chat. Check those videos out. Let me know what you think. And make sure your notifications are on for the channel, because I'm going to keep dropping the news that they don't want you to know about. So anyway, happy Saturday. Is it Saturday? I don't even know what today is. I think it's Sunday. Man, happy Sunday, guys. And I'll see y'all in a few. Bye.